folks, this is Scott with Leading Edge Archery. Hey, let's talk releases today. Really big question I get is on releases is what type is the best, and that is really a personal issue, personal preference. Today we're going to go over hinge releases. The back tension, you've heard it all as far as how they're called. And I've got three really good styles up here. First is the Scott Ascent. It's one of their new releases that came out this year. This one here is the Truball Fulcrum Flex, came out this year. And this is one of my oldies, but my favorite one. It's an HT made by Truball that I actually modified, and we're going to talk a little bit about that here later. I want to go straight to the Ascent. Back tension releases like this are crazy popular. Probably close to 80 to 90% of the pros on the tour will shoot a release like this. What makes the Ascent a lot different is the fact that it has a 2-moon technology in it. So the clicker adjustment is completely done by off the moons. You can adjust it however you'd like. That means how fast it gets to the clicker. You can also control after the clicker shot. And a lot of people may be asking what a clicker is. Well, what a clicker is, it allows us as an archer to understand where we are in relation to the release going off. It's kind of like oh crap, I'm on the edge, it's getting ready to fire. So I can adjust this one in infinite number of ways to shoot after the click, how fast, and how fast it gets to the clicker. It's made out of extremely heavy steel with a chrome type finish. Awesome release. It comes in a 3 or a 4 finger also, and also with medium and larges, so it'll accommodate any type of a hand. The next one over here is the Truball Fulcrum Flex. What's nice about this release is head positioning. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different areas that I can actually change the position of the head. What that does is allows me to control how fast that shot goes off by where and how I add pressure to the release with the 2 fingers, the index finger, the middle finger, and your ring finger. Really nice feature. Also on the peg here, it gives me 2 different peg positions to put it when I'm drawing back. So you can make it more comfortable just by moving the peg and helping you draw more poundage. This is one of my favorites. Actually, this is my release that I use, and it also comes in 3 or 4 finger. You can even shoot it as a 2 if you choose to by not even using the handle. This is your 3rd handle, and it comes with one that is 2 handles, so you can get all 4 fingers on that release if you choose to do so. Love this thing right here. And last but not least is a good old trusty. This is a Truball HT brass release made out of solid brass. I actually modified this one by shaving flat edges on both sides to actually get the release a little skinny. Wasn't a fan of the original style, a little fat for my small hands, my fingers. So we went in and shaved it down. This is a typical true, just a HT type release, back tension, meaning that if you can adjust it here, the sear, how fast it gets to the click, and also you cannot adjust the back end of it as far as where the click goes. But super popular release. I shot this one for years and years and years and really enjoyed it a lot. Just talk about back tension releases real quick. This release supposedly, and I believe so myself, will help you solve target panic issues. Target panic comes in a myriad of different ways, meaning that you have trouble getting the pin to the top of the target and holding it there, and it wants to always fall below it. And some people even freeze and do what we call snow coning on the dot when we bring the pin up underneath it. These releases, because it's we're not controlling the shot process, the releases will really help you with that target panic situation like that. They do a wonderful job of it because not knowing when it fires makes sure that your brain is saying we need to be in the middle because we don't know when it fires. Target panic, in my opinion, is something that is derived from having command of the release, understanding and knowing and making the shot happen on your own terms. And it really just doesn't equate to good archery. So that's why this release is so popular on the tour side of it from shooting professionally. Most guys and gals are going to be in this type of a release because it is a surprise shot. We do not know when it fires. Here in a second, we're going to go back and shoot these and kind of talk through them really quick about how we make and execute these releases. Okay, folks, this is now we're on the shooting lane. We're going to shoot my Truball Fulcrum Flex and kind of go over how we shoot this release. Really, there are 3 different ways and styles to shoot this. One of them is what we call the relaxed pull method, which I'm going to demonstrate all these here in a second. The other one is just pulling the cams off the bow. Let's just aim and pull as hard as we possibly can. And then the third one is actually manipulating the release by moving the index finger and the ring finger. So I'm going to kind of go over all 3 of these here real quick. So the relaxed pull method is something really simple that we do. And it is more or less opening the hand, relaxing it as we are pulling back with the rear elbow and firing the release. I'm going to kind of demonstrate. I'm going to kind of exaggerate it so you can kind of see it, but it's not really how I shoot it. These movements will be extremely, extremely fine-tuned. So I'm going to go ahead and draw back. I want to get to my soft aim and come into anchor. As you see, I'm starting to open up. And I'm going to get to the clicker. Okay, and there it is. Now I want to start relaxing and pulling and relaxing and pulling. Until the shot breaks. So if you've seen it, and maybe we can do it under slow-mo, but this will actually be sliding open. I'm kind of letting the release slide out of my fingers. The next method is just pulling the heck out of it. A lot of people love to shoot this way. We're going to push on the front end of the bow and pull with a lot of force, dynamic force. What happens is the two fingers is going to beat the one finger every single time. I'll demonstrate. I'm going to draw back, soft aim. I'm going to come into the hard aim here, relax the fingers until I get to the click, and there it is. Now I am just going to start pulling hard. Pulling. Until the release fires. If you notice, that release went off a little bit quicker because I was actually pulling and giving it so much pressure to make it fire. And now the third way that is popular is actually manipulating the release, which is probably my least favorite, which is by adding pressure to this index finger and the ring finger both, and relaxing the first finger. I'm going to draw, come into an anchor here, relax the hand until I get to the click. There it is. Now I am going to start pulling with my middle finger. Pull. Until that release fires. So really the three different ways to shoot that release. The next thing I want to go over, which is really important in this, with these back tension releases, is how we drive the rear elbow. It's going to depend on two things: on how you anchor, number one, and where you're anchoring on your face. So if you do a vertical anchor hold like this, where you're going to try to take the back elbow and drive it to the ground, this release is firing with about 85% of it the rear lat muscle, which is here. Is how we're going to fire that release. You'll still have some rhomboid, which is under your shoulder blade, involved, but very little. I'm going to come in here and anchor. I'm going to turn it up and anchor high, and I'm going to relax until the release clicks. There it is. Now I'm going to drive down this rear elbow, drive it, and I'm going to see the rear elbow finishing down near my hip. You'll find the releases will fire a heck of a lot easier that way. Now some of us run, and I do it this way myself, a horizontal hold, where I'm actually holding under the chin this way. And what I'll do is try to wrap my elbow around my head, which is firing it really with the rhomboid muscle under the rear shoulder blade. And it'll look like this. We'll draw, anchor, and relax to get to the clicker. There it is. Now I'm going to start pulling and wrapping the elbow around the head. And you see the finish is back this way. So two completely different ways to finish that release, and some of you I think might be struggling if you're doing a vertical hold this way or more of a horizontal hold down here. But try these things back at your shop. Go to your shop, talk to them about it. But really the three proper ways to shoot this release and make it work for you and make you a better archer.